Tensions are running high over the situation on the Russian-Ukraine border. Now some Florida National Guard members stationed in Ukraine are leaving the area in case things escalate. Thanks for joining us. I'm Angela Jacobs. President Biden told President Putin the U.S. and its allies would respond if he invades Ukraine. And breaking this evening, members of the Florida National Guard stationed in Ukraine are being pulled out. That order came from Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. The Pentagon says those 160 members of the Florida National Guard have been in Ukraine since late November, helping advise and mentor Ukrainian forces. Those troops have now been temporarily sent to other parts of Europe. The Pentagon says the move comes out of an abundance of caution. Meanwhile, as ABC's Ty Hernandez reports, world leaders are watching to see what happens next.
A Biden administration official says a phone call between President Joe Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin over the situation in Ukraine was, quote, professional and substantive, but there was, quote, no fundamental change in the dynamic.
We're in the window when a Russian invasion could start at any time if President Putin so decides.
The president warning a Russian attack would cause widespread human suffering, telling Putin the U.S. and its allies would, quote, respond decisively with swift and severe costs. Earlier, Secretary of State Antony Blinken spoke with his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov, who denied Russia intends to invade Ukraine and accused the U.S. and the West of trying to create a scenario where they can declare, quote, diplomatic victory when Russia ends up not invading.
We don't know whether President Putin has made that decision, but we do know that he has put in place the capacity to act on very short notice.
The State Department has ordered all U.S. Embassy personnel, except a core team of diplomats, to leave Kiev immediately. Those who don't leave are being warned the U.S. government will not be able to evacuate U.S. citizens in the event of Russian military action. The Ukrainian president at odds with the U.S. assessment of the threat of a Russian invasion.
The best friend for enemies, that is panic in our country. And all this information that helps only for panic. It doesn't help us.
For Ukrainians, life goes on as usual.
Honestly, I'm not afraid because the war wouldn't start like in a week. It's already been going for 8 years, so nothing new for us.
Both the U.S. and Russia agreeing to continue talking. Ty Hernandez, ABC News, New York.
A Central Florida native says he will ignore all calls for Americans to evacuate Ukraine. Miroslav Wojcik is from the land. He studies medicine in the western part of the country. He calls the last month exhausting and terrifying. We ask him why he isn't following State Department warnings to get out. He says leaving would feel like caving to Putin.
Ukraine still has a very strong national identity, and people here are not resigning. They are absolutely willing to fight to the end.
We also spoke to a missionary who did listen to the order to evacuate and returned to Claremont last night. Shawn Sullivan says he'll continue his charity work to help children no matter what happens in Ukraine. And we'll continue to track the latest.